Welcome to day 1532 of What's She Up To Now. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, documenting the journey, the business journey primarily, as I transition from brick and mortar corporate world of business to the online world of business, and then back and forth a little bit. Not to corporate. I said bye-bye to corporate in 2003, 2004, and I have to admit, there have been a couple of times when I thought, Jesus, wouldn't it just be easier to go back and get a job and work for someone else and then just put in my time, come home and just live my life. And that's what happens when we're building and growing and supersizing our businesses or business. Sometimes it's hard, but you know what? Then I remember sometimes corporate America was hard too, right? If I had to do something that didn't really feel 100% right to me, or if I had to create projects and things that just seemed a little bit off, that didn't feel right either. There were hard days in corporate America, right? There were challenges and problems and situations that came up every single day, just like running our own business. So why wouldn't we focus on building something for ourselves versus building something for someone else? And if I remind myself of that, then I'm like, nah, never want to go back to corporate again. So I figured in about 2004, 2005, I was permanently non-hireable when it comes to working for someone else for my 70 to 80, 40-hour week, whatever it would be. So today in Supersize Your Business, our idiom, our expression was going Dutch, meaning we pay our own way. It came from the British. It dates back to the 17th century when the English or England back then and the Netherlands were always fighting over boundaries, political boundaries, as well as trade routes. Trade routes were a big thing back then, and so they were always battling and fighting over that. And so the British thought that the Netherlanders were stingy and cheap, and so they called it going Dutch. There's other explanations for going Dutch, but it came to mean you're paying your own way. When we go on a date, you pay for you, I pay for me. If you're going to the movies, I pay for you, I pay for me, you pay for you, etc. Or if we're a group of us going out to eat, everybody gets their own tab and pays their own ticket. I personally can't stand that. I'd rather volunteer to pay because I think it's so much extra work on the wait staff. But I think nowadays with technology, it's a lot quicker and easier for people that are working in those environments. And hopefully their bosses and their businesses have set it up to make it quick and easy for them, since so many people like to go out and get their own tickets. So we talked about what does that mean with respect to growing and building and supersizing our business. And to me, number one was you have to pay your own way. We all have to pay our own dues. We all have to learn what we need to learn with respect to experiences, spending resources, taking risks to create what it is that we want in our life, not just with respect to business owners, but anything that we want in our life. Nobody is going to hand us on a silver platter the things that we want, which is funny because I've used that in my marketing. Let me do this for you on a silver platter. kind of funny, but I will hand you part of it on the silver platter, but you still have to take the platter and eat what's on it, right? Consume what's on it and do something with it and take action. There is no free lunch when it comes to creating what we want in our life. People can help us, like as coaches and consultants, we help people all the time, but we cannot do it for them. I mean, I can coach people through anything, but I can't actually take the action, change the thinking, think for them. They have to do that themselves. That's why think for yourself is one of my favorite sayings since I think 2020 on. Probably before then, but it really got nailed into my psyche in 2020 and beyond due to COVID pandemic. I'm not even going to lie. The COVID pandemic was number one stimulator for me really believing we absolutely positively have to do what's right for us individually and collectively, but individually first. And if you do that and it doesn't negatively impact other people, then it's right for you, right? It's the right thing to do. But we have to choose what that is on an individual basis, not the government or Dr. Fauci or Bill Gates or anybody else telling us what we should or shouldn't do, because they don't know. They don't know our personal situation. My personal health situation is I'm going to do the things I need to do to protect myself, right? And to keep myself healthy, safe, separated from other people if that's what's required. And I don't need any government telling me that I need to do that or I should do that. I'm going to do what's right. And if we treated people like they have brains and with dignity and respect, they will do what's right. Will there always be a few that are evil and do the wrong thing? Yes, we see that every day. But it's like, this is one of my pet peeves from corporate America. Corporate America will create massive rules, processes, procedures, and systems to prevent the 1% from doing the wrong thing. Instead of building the processes and procedures and systems for the 99% that are doing it right, everything is based on preventing loss or punishing people that do the wrong thing. And when you do that, guess what? Now that 1% becomes 5%, then 10%, then 20%, pushing the boundaries and doing the wrong thing that never would have even considered doing the wrong thing before there was this rule in place. So I'm a questioner of rules as well. So going Dutch was our idiom, our expression today. And I shared 3 ways that reminds me and that I think about when I hear that with respect to supersizing and growing our business. One is share clear expectations. Number 1 is you got to do it yourself. Nobody's going to do it for you. Number 2, and I didn't even talk about this, was I talked about sharing expenses and sharing the cost of things by joining together with other people, joint ventures, partnering, doing summits together, doing events together where everybody pitches in and pays a little bit to share the expenses of doing a big event. Events can cost millions of dollars to do, but if you join forces with other people and other entities that are non-competitive, that offer products and services to the same group of people that you might want to offer your products and services to, you can share the expense of that multi-million-dollar event and all win in the long run without having to come up with the millions of dollars up front all by yourself. And then the other thing is about really clearly sharing expectations. We should do this in everything, right? And if we did, we'd sure save ourselves a lot of time and energy and heartache, right? If you ask somebody to lunch, but you want them to pay for themselves, just tell them up front, well, let's go to lunch and we'll each pay for ourselves. Or just be really clear on your expectations in your relationships, in your finances, in your job. One of the biggest areas I see outages is, and I read an article on this on, I think it was LinkedIn the other day, that people are hiring people and then they're no-shows for their first day of work. I don't get it. And my question was, like, they ran a survey and I'm like, I didn't answer any of the survey questions. I said, I want to know why they're really not showing up, because if it's my company and that's happening to me, I'm calling those people and finding out, why did you not show up today? Did we not set the expectation clearly? Did you get another job? Did you decide it wasn't worth your time and energy? Did you decide after the fact it wasn't a good fit? And then I'm going to say, why didn't you let us know? Why didn't you communicate that to us? We wouldn't hold it against you. We would actually appreciate knowing that we're doing something wrong or there's a mismatch there, so that we change our expectations and we fix the problem. Because that is, we like to blame the person that didn't show up, but it's not necessarily their fault. It probably is not their fault. It's probably something that is wrong in our hiring process, that people are not showing up for their first day of work. I mean, businesses and big businesses and a lot of humans, we like to blame other things besides ourselves. But if we look inside, that's what we can control and that's what we can fix. So if people aren't showing up for the first day of work when we hire them, that's not saying, well, what's wrong with you? That's asking the question of them, well, what did we do that wasn't right that caused you to decide and change your mind after we offered you the job that you didn't want to come and work for us? Please let us know so we can fix that moving forward. Good luck to you in the future, but we want to know what we can do to change our process, change our systems, make sure that we do better next time to meet the expectations of the person coming in, etc. And maybe it just wasn't, the expectations weren't shared, right? Maybe there was a miscommunication. But if people are whining about it and complaining about it and writing LinkedIn articles about it, chances are it's happening often, and we need to get to the root cause of it, not just blame and put Band-Aids on things, right? Think we know what the solution is. Businesses and business owners, me included, a lot of times we like to assume we know what's going on, and chances are we are 100% wrong. Every time I thought I knew something and I asked the question just to back up my belief and my thought, I found out that I was absolutely wrong in my assumptions. And so I've learned to not assume. And one of my favorite sayings is, assuming makes an ass out of you and me. I don't remember who made that up, but it sure is a good one. I mean, I've known it since I was a kid, but we still forget. And sometimes we judge and we assume, and then we get knocked in the noggin because we made the wrong assumption. A lot of times we do that, right? It's human nature, but we need to get outside of our egos and ourselves. And when in doubt, ask. So our idiom going Dutch. Oh, our topic today for not supersize your business, for our annual challenge is financial A in SOAP, which stands for action. Before you're going to take action, you've got to decide what action you're going to take, right? What option of the options we brainstormed yesterday using the Power Vision movie are we going to take today and apply in order to start filling that gap from where we are to where we want to be financially? And I picked 3 options, and I will analyze them today using the highly scientific and renowned plus and minus decision-making strategy, where we look at each alternative, we list out in our mind, either quietly to ourselves or on paper, what are the negatives of doing this thing? What are the positives of doing this thing? And then we use that list to help us think through more clearly and decide, this is the option I'm going to do. Now, once I decide the option I'm going to take, what is the next thing I need to do and will do today to start putting that option into place? So, new challenge I'm involved in starting on Monday. What else we got going on? We got the usual. I've got my usual stuff going on. Project, and for some reason I keep getting pulled into real estate. So I'm going to work on that and help out with that today as well. If I can help you in any way, ask. Otherwise, I will be with you tomorrow. Have an awesome day.